right, I think I am going. So what's going on, everybody? Triple Crown 24 back today. I'm doing this video live to possibly discuss this with anyone. It is a Thursday afternoon, so I highly doubt that anybody is going to hop on, but if you do, welcome. There is a big talking point in the community right now that I would like to address. Before I say anything, though, I want to make it very clear that I am not by any means a law expert, a legal expert, or licensed or certified in any way to give legal advice. And that is not the intention of this video. It is more so to talk about what I am going to be doing personally as an individual and sharing my course of action with you as well as my thoughts. There's by no means am I telling you you should do this under any kind of certification or whatever it may be. So I have to say that to cover my butt there. And I truly do believe that. This is just my opinion. So I don't know if I'll be replying to comments too much during this, but I'll try to incorporate it in there. I'm going to share my screen with you and kind of focus more so on that rather than trying to just have fun, because this is a very serious topic. So there was a couple of videos within the past few days within this community in particular that talks about this. And it's basically COPPA is a policy that has been around since 1998. It was most recently updated in 2013, but YouTube has kind of ignored the provisions of it. And they actually just settled a lawsuit for around 170 million, I believe it was, over this with the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. So basically what the impact is, I won't get into the full detail about what the rule is, but the issue is you're now required to label your content on your channel as either intended for children or kids, as they put it, or not intended for kids. The problem that people are having with this is that the criteria is very vague. And that is very true. Even YouTube's recommendation to consult legal experts or lawyers or attorneys, whatever you want to say, about this. I have seen some people who have done that, and they say, we have no idea what this really means. And there's probably going to have to be more clarifications. But because of that general vagueness and the fact that it is not autonomous to your own decision. So basically, you do not have autonomy over your own channel anymore. It is YouTube, well, YouTube partially, but the FTC is the one that decides if your channel is kid-friendly or not. Now, you do get to choose. You can label it, and it can be either a general thing or it can be a case-by-case basis. But YouTube is just saying that you need to choose, and these are kind of the guidelines that the FTC recommends. Here's something that we recommend, but we cannot say whether your channel is or isn't, because that would be considered legal advice, which is understandable on their part. They already lost 170 million in this lawsuit when they settled. They don't want to lose any more. And because it was a settlement, that tells me that these are specific orders from the FTC that was a part of the agreement. I do not believe that this is something that YouTube decided to implement themselves totally on their own. I believe that these were the conditions of the settlement, but that's a different debate. Really, in general, just the issue that comes with if your channel is mislabeled, from what it seems to be, is that there is no warning system, that this is your warning now, that you need to make sure that your content is labeled accurately, and you need to do so by the start of the new year. And if you don't, and you mislead people or lie or whatever you want to say about what your intended audience is, you can be fined up to just over $42,000 per video that is in violation of this. And within the context of this community, I am almost confident I can say that there might be only one or two YouTubers within this community that $42,000 exceeds what they make in ad revenue off of YouTube videos. The community is a very small fish in a vast ocean that is YouTube, with all of the content and all the diversity among that content. this community is very small. And some people say, well, because we are so small, it's probably nothing to worry about. To that, I would say, not necessarily. Do I think that it is as big of a deal as maybe it is for some of the large gaming platforms or some channels that maybe review, let's say, toys or anything that might be considered for children? Yeah, I think it affects them more. Now, sports cards, it's really subjective opinion of the FTC. And based on some of their guidelines of what they've said, I don't know that they have the most accurate view of what is actually like a kid-friendly thing, because they basically referred to YouTube as a kid-driven platform or something like that, a child, something that would basically attract them to it. It's a different wording that kind of means something different, but it's something along those lines. I know Shauna would put me out of business too. That's more than my net worth at the moment. So it's really difficult to navigate this in the sense that you have to comply with the FTC guidelines that you don't know about. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Try to get back on topic, but it's something that's basically not worth the risk, is what a lot of people are saying, and they want to take the steps to avoid this, but want to keep the community aspect. So there's two things that you can do. Is number one, you can say my channel is meant for kids. Now, if you do this, you pay a huge price. So basically what that means is that if you do monetize your channel, you can no longer have targeted ads on your channel, which makes up a very large portion of YouTube ad revenue. My channel is not monetized, but I have seen figures by doing research before making this video. And I can tell you right now that you cannot make a living off of that amount. What you also lose is that your videos are not going to show up in recommended feeds. Also, I see all the comments. I'm trying to read them as I go along, but bear with me here. But you cannot make a living off of it. And really, I don't think that anybody except for maybe one or two channels is really relying on YouTube as their primary source of income. Perhaps YouTube is a medium that helps fund their various sources of incomes, and I'll leave that open to your interpretation, because I'm not going to mention any specific channels in this video because I don't want to drag anybody's specific name into this. But it is something to keep in mind, is that for the most part, YouTube is not the primary source of income for a lot of people here, nor is it a source of income at all. So I'm going to show you some stuff here, and I'm going to try to. So this is what my YouTube dashboard looks like. So I'm going to show you some of the guidelines first to kick things off. So here is something that I find interesting. This is basically the guidelines from YouTube, that this is their help center. I'll say quote unquote help center here to kind of talk about this. So this is what their primary source is. When deciding whether or not your channel or video is made for kids, you should consider the following factors. So subject matter of the video. In this case, for most of us, it is sports cards, whatever your sport may be, or if you're into multiple sports, there you go. The intended audience. For most of us, I would say that our intended audiences aren't necessarily made for kids, and I'll get more into that in a minute. Child actors or child models, that does affect some people in the community. Certain characters, celebrities, toys. So you see all these here. Now, this is very, very subjective. Like, for example, here I have this little gator guy. Mean that I need to take him out and replace him with some kind of phallic object that wouldn't be kid friendly as something to put in the background of my videos? No, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. I'm not going to change my content or compromise my content because I need to make it less kid friendly to appeal to this. Do I think that that character could lure kids in? Maybe. He's colorful and he looks kind of cool. I'm sure that, like, if a kid came into my little office here, I think that maybe he would look at this as one of the first items, or she, or whatever their gender is. We're not going to get into that discussion today. The point of it being is that there are so many different things, and it is so incredibly vague if you look within these guidelines that I have here. I wish I could blow this up a little bit more. Maybe I can. There we go. And you can probably read them a little bit better there. But here you see it is at its age 13. So maybe there are certain things that would appeal more. Like, for example, let me, yeah, I surprised you guys with that phallus. I totally agree, Alex. I totally agree. There's no kid who would actually get any kind of joy watching my channel. Here's something, for example. Do you think any kids really care about my Cabrera collection? I doubt it. He's not a big star in today's game. No one really talks about him all that much. But maybe they're more interested if I show off Lamar Jackson because he's a hot player right now that's flashy. Maybe that means because I showed a Lamar Jackson card, it's more appealing. Maybe if I show a trading card for a game, that it's more appealing to kids. But I'm going to get this graded. So is grading cards more appealing to kids? I don't know. There's no specific thing. And a lot of people are worried about the content detection devices and algorithms that YouTube is going to use, or the FTC is going to use. I would say not to worry about it because it's still going to be reviewed on a case-by-case basis. And there's so much subjectivity to it. Like, some of the things that appeal to kids is bright imagery. Well, there are so many things that are intended for adults too that have bright imagery. Look at all the clickbait YouTube channels that are meant for adults that have big red arrows pointing to everything. I'm going to start putting them in my videos. Does that mean I'm trying to get kids to click on it? No, I'm just trying to get anyone to click on it because I'm hungry for views like that. That's why we put in those big red arrows, and you see all that kind of stuff. It's to attract people in, not necessarily for kids. And a lot of things that attract kids in are the things that attract our subconsciousness. That is part of marketing. It's not a kid-specific thing. It is a human-specific thing, and we are all human. So that is something that I kind of have a problem with. Here's something that I find very interesting is that the vague definitions are all kind of covered in here. What if my content is applicable to a wide audience, but not kids specifically? So that is something that is, I think that defines our channels right here. Could kids watch videos about my Miguel Cabrera collection? Yes, they could. Do I think that they would? No. And is it intended for them? No, I really don't care who watches. Do I encourage young collectors to watch my videos? Absolutely, because I'm a young collector myself. And I'm actually surprised that no one's made a joke about this yet, that this law is because of me or something, because I'm young. I just had my birthday yesterday, so I'm a little bit older now, so suck it. But anyways, back on topic. Here's what they say is that as a creator, you know your content best. And in this entire explanation that I kind of went through, there's a lot of words here. Basically is that YouTube doesn't really take a stance on it. It says that if you intended to reach a kid audience, it's likely that your video is made for kids. And if chat replay shows up on this, you'll see that Bowman53 Alex, I know I just said I wouldn't mention names, but he just commented on the video, mentioned something very similar along these lines, is that if you intended to reach a kid audience, and that is not the intention of our videos. If you look at the different aspects of our videos, there is nothing that is directed to kids. This is the verbiage they use. Is it directed to kids? I'm trying to think here. I have like a couple of Funko Pops up there. Maybe those are more attractive to kids. I don't know. They're more so collector's items, and I don't necessarily think that they are attracted to kids. Again, it's all very subjective. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it, guys. But you also look at some of the packaging that I know this was brought up in Baseball Collectors live stream last night. Here's a wrapper for a 2019 update series pack, and nowhere on it does it say ages. Now, certain boxes, it might say it on the box that this is for ages so-and-so. We cannot control what Panini, Topps, any of them really put out there. That's not going to change. We can't change what YouTube is going to do about it necessarily. We cannot change the law. Now, there is going to be something, Lou, I will mention that in a minute. I really appreciate everybody tuning in today. there's nothing specific about any of that. Let me pull up something else here. So here's what I am doing. Kind of the point of this. Here's more about this with this COPPA type of thing. I want to say this for anybody who is worried about the penalties. I'm not going to tell you to not worry. I think that would be stupid. And when someone throws around the possibility of this right here, $42,530 per violation, when somebody throws that number around at you, that is something to not take lightly. And it's a law. It's not just a threat. Like, this is going to happen unless something changes about it. So don't take it lightly. At the same time, I don't think that it's something that needs to be like fear mongered or anything. I'm going to go full screen on this here. I want to read part of this here. A court can hold operators who violate the rule liable for civil penalties up to $42,530 per violation. Now, operators here is kind of a tricky phrasing. So do I become the operator as the content provider? I don't necessarily think so. I think that's more so on YouTube. But if they go after YouTube, that might be a little worse because they're going to be stricter on YouTube. The reason I say that is because the amount of civil penalties a court assesses is determined based on a number of factors here. So basically the magnitude of the violation, if this violation has occurred more than once within this specific operator. So this might be in terms of YouTube in general or in terms of a specific channel. The number of children involved, the amount and type of personal information collected, how that information was used, and where it was shared with, and the size of the company. So if this is in terms of YouTube, let me come back here. If this is in terms of YouTube, that is a little bit more problematic. As us as individuals, we'll look at my channel here as an example. My channel has just over 600 subscribers to it. And my age demographic says that I have 0% of watchers who are in the 13 to 17 range, which are still minors. To me, that's probably not accurate. I'm sure that there are some who registered for accounts who say that they are older. That could be the case. I really don't know. There are ways to kind of protect yourself against that. But what I really think here is the key is, have you previously violated the rules? So none of us have violated the rule before. And the very first time, I don't think you're going to get hit right away with a $42,000 fine. Now, am I saying that I can guarantee that? No, I can't, because I have no control over it. I don't want to give everybody here false hope. But do I think that you will be hit with a $42,000 fine right away? I really do not think so. I think the odds are very slim. How the information is used and the type of information collected, this is the part right here that I think is the key. So how this information is used. So the issue of COPPA, a lot of people I know are talking about this, and they are saying, well, what does this really entail? I've seen so many people getting kind of outraged about a lot of different things. This is towards target-based revenue. I still agree a fine of like $200 would still be, I still agree with that. And Josh, you bring up a good point as well, that we need to know if sports cards are deemed kid target. I'm trying to catch up on some of the comments. And so with this right here, the type of personal information collected. So the rule is it's protected against ad-based revenue. So a lot of the channels that are monetized, this is probably going to affect them more. For someone like me who is not monetized and does not have the option to monetize, I don't think I'm as at risk as some of these other creators. Am I still at risk? Yes, because I'm a content creator. But the key is that my videos do not have ads on them. The only way that they have ads is if I have any kind of like branded music where it jumps in and says, you can use this, but we're going to put ads on your video. And I only have one like that, which I intend on removing at some point in time. It's just the way it has to be. It's not a huge video for my channel. In fact, it's one of my least viewed ones. So it's not a tremendous loss by any means. But my channel is not monetized. So I don't have ads on there that are targeting kids to basically, if they watch the stuff, they're not going to have any ads pop up on the videos themselves. Now on YouTube, the site in general, yes, that can pop up, but that's not my fault because that is YouTube putting those ads out there. So here's what I am going to do, and I'm finally going to get into it now. There are two things that I'm doing with this. Here's my YouTube dashboard. I'm not going to actually click one of them today because I'm going to wait and explain it in a different video. But when you go into settings on this dashboard here, you can look at channel. So you can see here, this is my channel name. These are the keywords that I associate with my channel. Yeah, I know I've owned like 2 basketball cards and I put that on there, big deal. So here's what is the big thing that everybody is seeing right now. Do you want to set your channel as made for kids? Yes, no, or I want a review for every setting. I think that there's an issue of this is that it's very black and white, and I think they're going to have to revise this at some point to say that it is not necessarily intended for kids, but that opens up a large gray area. Subscriber count, that doesn't really make too much difference here. Here's something I want to point out: Google Ads account linking. So you guys who monetize, if you're in here right now, you can go ahead and give your 2 cents on this here. But if you have your ads-based account on here, it might be a good idea to unlink it. I'm just going to kind of get into that here in a minute. Here's something else that's big: advertisements. Disable interest-based ads. It says, if you select this option, personalized ads will not be shown on videos on your channel, such as ads based on a viewer's interest or remarketing ads. This may significantly reduce your channel's revenue. In addition, earned action reports and remarketing lists will stop working for your channel. So for all of you who do not monetize your channels, this won't affect you all that much because it says this may significantly reduce your channel's revenue. So even in the case that you put up copyrighted music or something that still gets flagged, whatever the case may be, it's not going to affect you because you're going to have these ads won't be targeted towards whoever is watching. That goes for adults, that goes for me, it goes for anybody out there. Here's the other part of it that I'm going to do, and I'm not going to do it right now, but videos, uploads. I'm going to select all on these. So I have them all selected. I'm going to go to edit and I go to audience. So it's going to make you answer this question first. Right now, I'm going to go with the no, it's not for kids, because I don't want to have to sacrifice the community aspect of it. I don't want to have to lose the comments. Then I can restrict my videos to age 18 or older. Now, this is permanent once you do this. So I'm not going to do it right now because I'm going to give it some time. I want to see how this actually plays out first, and if this actually goes into effect, which it won't for a little while. You still have, they're still taking comments on it to kind of get opinions. But if nothing changes, this is the route I'm going to go with. So what this does at this point is that I've already chosen the option to not have targeted ads anymore. And I'm going to come back here so I can be on the, I'm going to be here so you can see me. What this basically means is that in order to watch my videos, you have to have a registered YouTube account, which makes you over the age of 18. So you have to sign in and verify that. Otherwise, you cannot watch my video, which means if by any means there were to be some kind of ad on the video, it will not load unless you are signed in on an account that is 18 and older. And that is a buffer zone. I know that I basically shun any teenage collectors out there, just protecting my own butt. If kids lie about that, then it's no longer on me. And it's also under the guides of COPPA. If you look on it, it says, will this prevent kids from lying about their age to register for sites? It goes into detail about that, how that's kind of your liability is chopped down there. So that is what I'm going to be doing if nothing changes. Eric just brought up a good point. YouTube selling the information is what got us to where we are. And that is very, very true. In general, that's a thing that you're going to on any website, is that in some places it is worse than other places as well. Is that if I see a lot of this, let me get my finger on screen here. A lot of this finger pointing. That's what I'm seeing a lot of. If you're going to point your finger at anyone, which is not really going to solve anything at this point, it is the money hungry advertisers that are taking advantage of people. including kids, by reading into their search history, basically taking the privacy of the internet that we would hope to have and totally invading it. And that's something that really I feel that a lot of more people should be more outraged about, is that these people are tapping into your privacy on the internet that you think you have to target ads, to try to sell you stuff, to solicit you subliminally through indirect marketing, somewhat direct because it is catered towards you. That is true as well. They're trying to weed out small creators. Here's the big thing with YouTube, is that they are becoming more and more popular as a streaming service as YouTube TV starts to grow. It's a business model, and they, in terms of that, want to gain more autonomy to their platform and have greater control over it. That's what Google wants to have. And I think that one day it will cost you money if you want to put YouTube content out there. I don't think that it's going to be a video service anymore, where it's basically a library that you can keep. So for those of you who upload videos for the sake of one day having them out there for your family and friends to view, if something were to happen to you or you want to relive past memories, I don't think that they want it to be for that purpose anymore, and it's gone away. It used to be YouTube's catchphrase was broadcast yourself, and that's not the goal anymore. The goal is broadcast yourself so we can make some dollar bills, y'all. And it's ridiculous, and it's really the biggest way to do it is to not give into it anymore. And even if you don't monetize your channel, there are still ways in which YouTube content can influence consumer decisions, which is important to keep in mind. And it's really unfortunate. For example, let's say that I open up a box of 2019 Topps Update, and I pull the 1/1 Platinum Vlad Guerrero Jr. rookie card. If someone really likes this product, they can go on to Topps's website and buy it, or go to some distributor somewhere, or go on eBay and buy it. Basically, what I say can influence commerce decisions. For my business, I'm trying to get more Lamar Jackson cards for my show inventory because I'm high on Lamar Jackson. If someone values my opinion enough or believes that my logic is sane, they will go ahead and say, oh, well, Triple Crown, so I should buy Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to go ahead and look for Lamar Jackson cards. And that kind of drives commerce in different places as well. Eric, yeah, I totally agree, is that it's not meant as terms of predators, in terms of people who have malicious intentions towards kids. It's people who want to go after their parents' money, basically. And to the people who complained about this, I know that this isn't going to do anything. I appreciate it, Mike. I value Eric's opinion more than my own, probably 90% of the time as well. Basically, what's going on the web is something that is not new. And for people to go ahead and attack this invasion of private information and whatnot, there are tons of invasions of privacy out there. Tons of them. Why do you think in grocery stores, when you go, all of the sugary cereals aimed towards kids are on like the second row from the ground? It's because that's where kids are most likely to see it. They can't look up to the top shelf and see it as easily. They put it right there in front of their eyes. They have secret shopping programs to kind of influence and see what kind of trends are popular. This has been going on forever. It's in TV commercials, it's in ads. If you're going to really tell me that my video is really going to influence kids or to give them targeted based ads because kids are watching it, guess what? If you think that baseball cards are a kid targeted thing, that's a pretty general consensus. I think that a lot of people would consider baseball cards for kids anyways. And it's I'm going to cuss here. I'm going to do it, guys. I apologize if there's any kids watching, but it's total bullshit because I appreciate that, Eric. It is total bullshit because it's common knowledge that cards appeal to kids. This card here, let me get something that's shiny. Boom, Vlad Jr., shiny card, hot player right now. That appeals to kids, or at least that's what we're told. How is me telling you that it is and people watching my videos going to change anything? These advertisers, they know that. If I had monetization on my video and they thought that that was actually geared towards kids, they're going to put videos for toys or baseball cards or baseball equipment. Yeah, you're damn right, Mike. I'm going all out here. This is no holds barred. They're still going to put that on there. These people aren't stupid, and they're still going to acquire their information through different things. I know, Eric, it's a paradox now. Who really knows what it's intended for? I don't think this video is intended for anyone. I probably should just stop making content because it doesn't really fit a criteria for anyone. But there is no broad category. This is all very subjective, and laws like this that are very subjective are always doomed to fail. And anytime that you put something out there like this that prohibits certain activities, it usually fails. Why do you think that prohibition failed? And I'm not going to get into that whole argument. More and more states are legalizing marijuana. Some of these types of things, and those are totally separate topics. I'm just bringing them up as examples. Those types of substances can have impacts on people. These types of, I guess, atrocities of me showing baseball cards that possibly produce targeted videos towards kids, who does that really hurt in the end? Are the kids going to bug their parents for something? Are the kids going to go click on the advertiser's link and look at this toy and then go use their parents' credit card to buy it? Bad parenting. It's taking, there's a lot of fingers to point here, and on YouTube it's one of them, because this is I commented this on Eric's video yesterday. What Google did by agreeing to this settlement and pushing the blame onto its content creators is a total cop-out, bullshit, pussy move. And I'm going to say it. And if YouTube wants to go ahead and take my channel down right now, go ahead, because I don't want to support something that empowers itself over its content creators. YouTube has lost its original meaning of that broadcast yourself thing that I talked about earlier. And it's really started happening since Google bought it out. A lot of you guys have been talking about how long you have been around on this platform for. I have too. In fact, I'm one of those kids who was watching videos before I turned 13 years old. Yeah, I know I'm young, okay? I get it. So, trying to keep this humorous and so I don't get too upset and too triggered here. Deep breaths. So there is petitions out there. Now, how good do petitions work? Well, I don't know what to tell you. I never really see the outcome of what certain petitions do. I know sometimes things work out really well. I know that I just got a text from someone. Let me make sure it's not important to check that in a minute. One thing I do know is that, sorry. Man, I just lost my train of thought. I'm sure you do, Mike. I'm sure you do. I probably have them too, somehow. This whole thing is a lot, but you can do FTC open forum, basically, where you can go submit your opinions. One thing I do want to mention is that I am basically, my point of this whole thing is that if you have a demonetized channel and you take appropriate precautions, you will be okay. Do I know that for sure? No. But that is my suspicion. If you have a monetized channel, tread lightly. And maybe you have to consider giving up the monetization, which in this community is not that big of an issue, I would say. Is the additional income nice? Yeah, I bet you that nobody out here would willingly give up their monetization if they have it enabled. But at the same time, it's not a tremendous loss because nobody here is really making their money. Am I willing to bet 42K on it? Well, if they want to go ahead and throw me in debtor's jail, which doesn't exist, then by all means, go ahead. They want to seize my assets. I don't have $42,000 in assets. What I think is that this is something that even if it doesn't impact this community, I'm sure that you guys watch various channels outside of sports cards that this does impact. And you don't have to name them down below, but I'm sure almost everybody here impacts is watching some channel that will be impacted, like gaming channels. If maybe you like some of like the toy channels that have like collectible toys like action figures or Legos, I know that those are immensely popular. Those are channels that are really facing this even more so than we are here in this community. I encourage you to speak out with your opinions one way or another and protect those creators as well. If you like Dude Perfect, then go protect them. I'm not really sure about their content. Like those channels are very, it's all so subjective that it's very hard to say what is exactly what. Eric, I know that your point is that they want the money, they don't care from who. My point is that there is bigger fish to fry. And when they make this ruling, if they go after you, they need to have sufficient evidence. And I don't think that anybody here, they can really say for sure, without a doubt, that any of our channels are explicitly for kids. And let me pull up something here that I was, it's on their website here. There's, I forget which tab it's on. I got too many open here. Was this helpful? What a joke. Okay, so you see this right here where it's the various factors. This is, here's something that I want to mention as well, because some people have been asking about if analytics are a thing. First of all, this law applies to kids 13 and under. They will not pop up in your analytics anyways, because they're not supposed to have a YouTube account. So that's something to keep in mind. So you have all of these combinations here, and what I read, and this is directly on the FTC's website here, and you can go check this out. If I remember, I'll leave a link down below. Is that these are the types of criteria that they're looking for. And it needs to be a balance of these, so not just one thing. So I would say that maybe if you have a kid that appears in your video, then that might make you more susceptible to this. I think that this more so affects monetization and that side of YouTube channels. I totally agree with what Alex said, is that I don't know how, like personally, if you came after me for $42,000, I want to throw this out there as well. 8th Amendment. If you don't know what the 8th Amendment is, which I'm not going to insult anyone's intelligence here, it's basically any kind of tort that you commit. There's no excessive, it's the usual punishment, so no excessive punishments. Yeah, suing the government usually does not go too well. With that being said, I really do believe, like Ed just said right there, it's about monetization here. And if they were to come after me for $42,000, I think that's unconstitutional. It's a violation of the Eighth Amendment, because my channel in particular, I average around 100 views per video. How many of those views are actually kids 13 and under? I'm going to guess maybe 5% or less. So that might be 5 kids that are targeted per video. Does that constitute a $42,000 fine and their information being shared? I don't think so. I think that my channel is small enough. And obviously, as the channel size increases and the number of views you have increases, then that fine kind of gets up a little bit. If I were to be fined any amount, I would be pissed and I would quit the platform immediately. What Ed just said is a really good point, is that YouTube is moving away from it being a platform as a community-based thing. It is more so moving towards a, how should I put it? It is a community within themselves. It is no longer something that you can come and freely join or leave. It is something that is directly from YouTube. They're trying to put out their own content. That's why they have their original content. That's why they have contracts with these networks to broadcast certain television shows and sporting events through their YouTube TV service. They're moving into that because they know that they can beat the cable companies and they want to make money off of it. And at the end of the day, that's what Google is about. So they're going to try to drive people off the platform. There is one more part of this here, and I don't mean to be a fearmonger when I say this. One of the big things I've seen with this is that it could possibly result in channel termination. So if they don't think that you're worth it bothering, what they can just do is say, Triple Crown 24, you're not worth it, you're done. We're getting rid of your channel. Which in that case, I'm not out anything, that's fine. Go ahead. That's what I think is more likely. And also YouTube just updated their terms of service that says that any channel, they have the right to delete any channel that they do not see as commercially viable. I'll let you interpret that. But that basically means they have the right to delete any channel that they can't make money off of. And that is right into what Ed said. It's moving towards a money-based platform. So what is the next step from here? Well, anytime that you have a massive exodus of people, people are going to be left behind. And that's a big part of it, is that you're going to have to kind of start over. This is a solid group of guys that kind of somehow he makes an appearance in this. Let me see if I got my Herald rookie around here to show off. Yeah, here he is, the culprit of all of this. I mean, I agree too, Ron. And what Alex is saying right there is a great point as well, is that nobody should be taking action in terms of deleting their channel yet. There's going to be no fines handed out until at least New Year's Day. And there's still time, because there is a revision period going on right now. You have until December 9th. If you want to, go ahead and talk with the FTC. Go in, leave your voice, leave your comments, leave your thoughts, and put them in there. And Brian is definitely correct there, is that the friends will remain. I would say that I've heard people talk about the Twitch thing, and I think that any solution with this is temporary. As cable continues to die and online platforms continue to gain more and more support as a steady stream of entertainment, I think that you're going to see more and more of these. The whole net neutrality deal that has been argued before, which I'm surprised has not caused more uproar in the community. I think eventually even that will cave in, where you're going to have to pay premiums to access certain websites. the internet is still so largely untapped in terms of its money-making potential for a lot of these companies. And unfortunately, I see it going more in that direction in the 2020s. And it's a real shame because the internet is such a great community. I'll get a little bit sentimental and emotional here today. Yesterday, as I mentioned earlier, was my birthday. And I had more people from the YouTube card collecting community send me birthday wishes and try to make it special for me than I did people in my actual real life. I have gone to the houses of people in this community. They have my personal phone number. They have where I receive my mail at. Those are the types of connections. 7 words of wisdom, baby. I don't have them memorized, otherwise I would go through the gauntlet. Those are the types of connections that you can't get anywhere else. And this fucking platform, it's taking that away. I lost a lot of respect for Google for caving into this to try to save their own asses and just accepting their $170 million loss to prevent any future losses instead of actually maintaining the integrity of their platform. Lost a lot of respect for Google today. But there's nothing that can really be changed about that. I would say what you guys said in the chat about this being a family is very true. And this might mean that you have to go out there and make the effort to stay connected with certain people. And you might lose a couple of people along the way. It happens. You're going to lose people along the way regardless because they're going to unsubscribe to your channel or they fall off, they get out of the hobby. There's some major life event happens or heaven forbid, we lose them. Whatever the case may be. I am very thankful that all you guys came here today. I enjoyed talking to you at this. My overall thoughts on this is that it is something that will pass, and I don't think it will affect any of us significantly. And that is my hope. I can't make any guarantees, and again, I'm not going to give any legal advice. I know that what I'm going to do is I'm going to age restrict my videos once I know this is final. And when that happens, it will be, you have to be signed in on an 18 and over account, and I will disable any targeted ads, and my channel will never be monetized. And that does not affect me whatsoever. I know it really sucks for those of you who do have monetized channels that we cannot support you through that anymore. But I'll tell you what is that this community is damn too important to lose. And we can beat YouTube and the FTC, whatever those fuckers want to throw at us here. And I'll go off the record and say this, is that we have the means to get around them. They cannot break this community. YouTube is simply the medium of this community. And if this community is as good as we say it is, and the people to it are loyal and are true friends, then they will come along. They will follow along wherever you go. I have found that in my young, short life, that true friends follow. And sometimes they come and go, and it's understandable. But I believe in the strength of this community for what I've seen, and that it will not go away. And that although your means may not be there anymore, you'll still have that. If anybody moves to Patreon, though, we will no longer be friends. Let me just make that clear. Yes, massive FaceTime chat. One thing that I will point out is that StreamYard is a good resource. I think you can only do a max of 6 people at once. But hey, if you guys ever want to just jump on StreamYard, I know that BBC does it sometimes where people just, I've done it a couple of times as well. Jump on. It doesn't even have to be on YouTube. You can have one that it's not live on YouTube, so you don't have to broadcast it. You can say, you can pull up that Michael Jordan meme that just says "fuck them kids" and put it out there, and nobody's going to say anything about it. I can show any baseball card I want. I can do whatever I want within reason. If I do something that's too inappropriate, they might kick me. They might kick me out. You want to jump on, Mike? I'll keep going if you want to jump on. I wonder if I can. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and just go back to me. All right, we're gonna bring BBC on. We're gonna do this live. I'm gonna send it to your Gonzalez nut. All right, I sent it to you. Ed, your video was absolutely hilarious, by the way. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna tear the roof down. I'm not gonna stop streaming until we fucking get the FTC to change this. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in and all the support today on this video. I didn't expect it to go this long. I thought it was going to be like 15 minutes, and I was just going to show you what I was going to do on my on my end of it to maybe give you ideas. But I decided against it. Oh, here we go. Oh, let's make us equal. There we go.
Make us equal. You'll have to do more than just change the screen to make us equal, JT.
Oh yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah, FTC. You know, screw them. Is that a K-Line jersey?
Yes, it is. It's got the hits, his total career hits inscribed on it. It is also kid friendly.
Kid friendly. You're doing a good job with this, JT.
Well, thank you. I've still got the passion going 50 minutes in. I'm surprised.
I can hear that in your voice. That's okay. You're allowed to be passionate about this. We all are. And, you know, after my discussion last night, I don't know that I felt any better or worse. I've talked with, like, Ray from Philly's looking to get rid of his channel. John, 3000 Hitman, deleted his channel today, sent me a text saying, hey, man, I'm out. I'm done. He said he had consulted a lawyer and that the lawyer told him it's not worth the risk. So he just deleted his, like, literally deleted everything, which is, I think, an extreme course of action. But I don't know. You can't just stick your head in the sand and hope it all works out.
I think it's too soon to say for sure. Like, I would really encourage anybody who is here to answer the question from Schmidt Collector. Let me see if I can put this up. You can watch YouTube without an account. So one thing I will say that is encouraging for you guys is that I try to keep my stuff separate with YouTube. Basically, my YouTube channel, I don't watch anything but card-related stuff on it. And the reason that I do that is because I only want to see the card-related stuff. If I want to watch something else, what I do is I open up an incognito window so it doesn't influence what I'm watching on there. And what I have found is that my ads that have been targeted towards me, because I assume that there have been, the only ones I see that are card related is vintage breaks. I see that damn commercial where they pull out the hold on to your hats with the triple.
Yeah, it's got the
rookie.
bird and rookie card.
And that's the only thing that I see. Now, there's been other ones too where it's been more so like hotels or vacations and stuff, because a man can dream about going to some place nice and warm instead of bumfuck Ohio. But that's what they target towards me. Nothing like that, Eric. I'm clean.
What else? I'm catching the comments. Let me try to do it. Let me see. I can't see the live comments. Oh, well. I can on my computer screen. You got 17 people watching you.
It's a new
That's
record.
good. Is it a new record?
Yeah.
There were almost 160 watching last night live.
Really? It
was crazy. And still nobody has any answers. We don't know anything. We have an idea and thoughts and fears, and we don't know anything. So anyway, sorry, I was just sitting here at work and thought I'd come join.
Thanks for joining. One thing I did notice, someone mentioned this because I was watching this I was trying to do some research before I hopped on, so I didn't sound like an idiot, or at least try not to as much. But there was a gaming YouTuber who said that on Twitter, there's now an option to turn off targeted ads on your feed. So to me, that would be a very simple solution for YouTube. I think that would have been a better solution. What my thought of it is that if the fine is this excessive, I don't know if you were talking about this, Mike, or if it was someone else, of $42,000 per violation, that tells me that whatever the FTC was trying to get from Google and YouTube was a huge amount, and that in order to settle at 170 million, they basically had to give complete control over to the FTC as what the policies would be moving forward, is that they relinquished control to save themselves money, which is kind of a cowardly move on YouTube's part. I don't think that they realize how much it's actually going to cost them now in ad revenue going forward, because it hurts them too. I mean, I'm sure that they're not too thrilled about all these changes, because the system before, they'd make a shit ton of money off of it.
Well, think about what you just said, and you said it earlier about what you're doing, and you're turning off these ads, and you're age restricting you're going to age restrict your channel, right? All these things. And you just said that Google has the ability to just wipe your channel out for non-productive channels or whatever. That if you do all those things, you've just made yourself a non-productive channel. And I think it's only a matter of time as this all filters through and people say, you know what, I don't want to mess with it. I'm going to put all these caveats, restrictions on ad revenue, which is why they are in existence. Don't think it's to help us at all as content creators. They are there to make money. And as a Google shareholder, I want them to make money. So I don't have a problem with what they're doing. I simply think that what it's going to allow them to do is cull a tremendous amount of channels that are non-productive to the platform. And think what they gain if they do that. We think we'll all be pissed off, but they don't care about us anyway. You know, they don't care about the smaller channels. And they'll be able to get rid of all of us, clean up all that storage space that they're having to pay for, and all these storage of everything. They can clean all that out, purge the whole system, and only keep the ones that really make them money to begin with. That's the down the line, absolute, total paranoid, delusional process that could happen here. And if you don't think it's real or could happen, I hope I'm completely wrong. I hope that doesn't happen at all, and I'm just being crazy. But man, think about it, JT. That could happen, right? You're basically making yourself unimportant to YouTube now and in the future.
Yeah, I agree, and it's because the way that I'm using the platform is not the way that it's intended to be used anymore. And they've changed what that intention is. Sean Sealing II just brought up a good point. I'll pull it up here. Who is a programmer that could set up a web page where we could share and upload all of our videos free from YouTube. So I'll tell you this, and I probably will get in trouble for saying this, so maybe I'll get struck down here. There is a way to watch any YouTube video and bypass the age restriction thing. There is a website that you can use. I will not say it by name on here so that I don't get struck down, but it is very simple to find. This quick Google search will get it there for you. The issue with this right here is that to have the web page where you upload videos. So the reason that YouTube wants to do the purge, as Mike said, of these smaller channels is that whenever you upload a video, I know that there's a concept of the cloud and everything. There is some kind of storage space that is taking that video. So every time I upload a video that's around like 1 gig, that is storage space that is being eaten up from YouTube's storage system. So what I'm going to guess is that it's going to start off by being just accounts that are no longer active. So accounts that haven't uploaded a video since 2007, gone. And then it will continue to progress from there. So I don't think it will go for us in the long term, us channels that actively upload. They're basically going to try to get rid of the dead space until the platform gets too large where they have to actually target active creators at that point in time. If someone were to set up a site that is similar, you'd have to have a shit ton of money to have enough space of storage to support all of those videos and to keep them archived, as well as to basically put out a server with a bandwidth that allows people to access it at the capacity of YouTube, or at least at a, it's going to be pretty significant if you want to get, I don't know, if 200 people were on the stream last night, that's going to take a lot of bandwidth to be able to host 200 people at one time. So, and then in order to pay for those costs, what are you going to do? You're going to put ads on it, and then we're right back to where we started. So there really is no way, unless someone with a shit ton of money just stashed away somewhere wants to pay for all of this.
Eric will do that. He's got tons of money lying around.
Yeah, we'll sell his Brady slab collection in a few years, and we'll all be set. So that's
comments. So I hope I'm adding to this instead of detracting from it. We know the real truth is I'm detracting from it, but that's
You brought the professional attire to the stream here. I'm just here in my sweats.
Well, it's way past my go home from work time, so stock market just closed. So
already?
Yeah, it closes at 3:00 Central.
I've been out of the game for too long.
Oh, great. Eric says he's naked. You don't need to know that, dude. Yeah. So I'm just going to go back to making normal videos.
I think so too.
Till we hear different, right?
I would say keep your channels is the big theme of this, and I'm repeating myself now, so I'll probably hop off here soon, but wait and see. I don't think that any knee-jerk reactions, because if you delete your channel, it's very hard. I don't think you want to go through calling YouTube to get them to put up your channel. I don't think they'll do that for you anyways. Just wait and see. There is still plenty of time to act, and I think that there's going to be revisions to this where it's going to be a much clearer criteria. Michael O, that is a question that would be way too long to explain.
Go back and watch it once it's archived.
But until New Year's Eve, it's business as normal. Now I would have what your action plan is going to be, whatever the case may be. But I would not, I wouldn't say to jump to any conclusions about what will happen until you know for sure. Just stay active, stay positive. And the thing is too, is that if you really want to stay connected with anybody in the community and they want to stay connected with you, reach out to them. Connect on Facebook, connect on Twitter, Instagram, whatever your preferred social media method is. I always have my email down in the comment section. If you want to stay in contact with me, send me an email. We'll hook it up. You want my phone number to text or call? That's fine too. If I have mutual interests. Some of you.
Here, I'll just give them number. No, I'm just kidding. I have a giant, like I keep a spreadsheet at home, a database of everybody in the community that I know, and with email, address, phone numbers if I have them. Some people I only have their phone number or their email or whatever, some combination of that. Some people I have all of that information, and I think it's yeah, good point, Bob Lewis. I think that if you have people that you want to connect with, you better do it. You don't wait now, because things could change quickly, and you better be ready to. If we all go, it's all about this anyway. It's all about the friendships, the fact that you could, when I go, hey, send me a link, you can do it in about 8 seconds, and we can be talking like this. And what you said earlier is right. StreamYard's a great place if you just want to host a hangout with your buddies. Man, go to StreamYard, set up an account. The host has to have a webcam. I'm on my iPad right now, so anyone after the people you invite can be on a mobile device, but you can't host from a mobile device. But things like this, I mean, JT, we've done it a few times. It's pretty fun, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, you can have up to 6 people that I know of on the basic plan. I don't know if you can add more.
You can if you pay for it, but the free version is up to 6.
I mean, if we all pitched in a little bit, I'm sure it wouldn't be all that much to do that. Hit the big red button. I sure hope not, and I think that it will work itself out in some of these comments today.
I'm not posting their phone number and heads post that database. No, but I have 100+ people within the community that I have some type of contact information for, and I'm glad I do now. Now I'm really glad that I've been doing that, because if I lose this ability to communicate with people through YouTube, I'll have my backup plan, which is just old-fashioned phone calls, texts, and this kind of stuff.
Right. I think it's difficult too, because this is the best platform for making those new friends, I would say, just because it's going to be, I mean, if you go to the kid-friendly side of things, to my knowledge, the only way people can find your content is if they specifically search for your channel, which would be very unlikely.
They have to have the link to your channel, not even, they can't search for it. It'd have to be a direct link.
So that's problematic, is that you would probably just lose your community. It would look like that with how we just lost Mike's feed right there.
No, my rang. I actually need to go answer that, and go talk to that person. So
right.
Can you hop me on?
I will.
Oh, I'll leave. I'll let you finish up.
All
Good
right.
job.
Thank you. So, yeah, what Ed said, say no to fear. Do not let this be something that impacts your fear. I've always believed this, is that fear arises when we attach stakes to something. So what are the stakes to losing this community? If we really boil it down and look at what it looks like, you can find those aspects that are most important to us. Unless it's monetization, that you're fucked. But otherwise, you can find those elements of the community in places outside of YouTube. It is the people that make the platform, not the platform that makes the people. It's just our means. So that was a pretty good quote to end on. I'll archive this, leave it up, because I think this is important for people to watch. Maybe not the full 69 minutes. Nice. But it's important. I appreciate all your guys' support. I'll be back with regularly scheduled content sometime soon. But until then, peace.